скучного пролога. Он всю игру ползал. Короче, он проснулся после 8 лет отключки в больнице. Сразу же прочухали о том, что он проснулся, за ним охотятся военные. Вот эта чушка и какой-то огненный мудак. И помогает нам чувак в повязках. Ну, это все, что нужно знать. И мы много ползали, очень медленно ползали. Ничего не происходило. Но зрелище было охрененное. Экшен, все такое. Очень круто, красиво. Но на самом деле происходит какая-то дичь. Я вот не играл ни в одну игру серии, но я не ожидал такого. Вот этого я тоже не ожидал. Чувака на коне это. Наверное, последнее, что я в тут видел. Хера он еще и думал. Вот чего-чего, а вот погони такой я точно не ожидал. Ну, конечно. А в кого стрелять-то? И почему-то никого это не удивляет, что какая-то херня за мной бежит. Из танка в него стреляли. А ему все равно, он не останавливается уже. Я не знаю, что было, повторюсь, не знаю, что было в прошлых сериях игры, но этот чувак уж больно он согрешил, что вот такая херня с ним происходит. Это что нужно сделать, чтобы... Я не знаю. Чувак на огненном коне носится за ним. Ранкест это хорошо, наверное, нет? Пролог шел 50 час. Ну, он очень скучный на самом деле. Под конец только был экшен какой-то. Героин. Что вообще? Я очень мало понимаю, что происходит. Читал то, что действия будут должны в Афганистане происходить, в открытом мире. А пока что Кипр. Лошади. Лютая дичь. Ну все, вот как в кино, вот я не знаю, вот Кодзима может поставить. О боже, опять она. Или уже не она. Или он. Что это? Да боже, он тушился от пожарной сигнализации. Тут дождь такой льет, а он нормально бегает. Бегал. Но знаю одного Мурата, но художника, правда. Очень круто рисует.
Name's Ocelot.
Целот.
Big boss. You know who I am. A certain man gave me a job to do. Two, actually. First was to get you out of that hospital. The second was to rescue the man himself. You remember?
Целота я
Your
тоже знаю.
partner 9 years ago, Kazuhira Miller. 9 years back, your private army came under attack by Cypher. You were considered dead. Until today, that is, when Cypher found you. And it's not just them. The whole world wants you dead.
Это я заметил, да.
You'll have to join up with Miller. Build that private army of yours one more time. It's your only chance. First, we need to save Miller. He's in Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Боже, столько пафоса просто в повороте лошади.
What, you can't keep up with world affairs in a coma? 4 years ago, the Soviets invaded Afghanistan. The Muslims are fighting back with Western support. Miller was training Mujahideen rebels when he was captured by the Soviets. The Reds' 40th Army. Troop strength somewhere around 100,000. Squad holding Miller set off near the Pakistan border yesterday. Now, in 3 days, they'll reach the Soviet garrison. They'll be interrogated for a few more days, and it's off to a lager. Or left to rot in a ditch on Afghan soil. I give him 2 weeks. The job didn't mean anything to Miller. He only took it on to keep you safe. Well, there's our ride. It's a whaling ship. Had a pretty good deal on her once the IWC started raising a stink. Now it's 7 days to Port Qasim, another 3 overland. So we won't have much time once we're there. Don't take too long getting used to your new self. Hang on. Ha!
Слишком много Хидео Кодзимы. Просто вот через слово. Просто Хидео Кодзима, Хидео Кодзима. О, наконец, начало игры. Ну, не очень удобно. Пакистан. Все, Биг Босс вернулся. Я так понимаю, плотва. Кажется, местные пейзажи мне не очень нравятся. Люблю куда более зеленые все. Значит, вся игра будет такой, то... Инструктаж оцелота. Горящий человек. Кассета с музыкой. Есть эмблемы. Он может продолжить. Фантомные конечности. Господи.
The area ahead is under total Soviet control.
Значит, мы русский выводим, да?
10 days. Not much time left.
Weather will clear shortly.
Storm's passing.
Технологии. 84 год. Там что-то сияет, сверкает. Шалашаск. Господи.
Getting used to it?
Я покрасил. Черепа. Типа актерский состав. Я не понимаю, что это. Пустой открытый мир. Как здорово.
After 9 years on ice,
9 лет я.
solo infiltration of the Soviet main ground forces should be the perfect one. Kazuhira Miller is being held in Dawandehar to the north. Check its location now. Take out your eye drone.
Айдроид. Айдроид.
You see Wandy on the map? That's where they're keeping Miller. Only problem is we don't know his exact location. Finding it is your first priority. Go ahead and close
Он
the eye
прям
drone.
нажимает.
Boss, put the eye droid away for a moment.
Ладно.
Got your
Yeah.
binoculars? Or should I say your int scope?
Один.
See the village? Straight ahead? To the right. Look up. All right, that's the village. If you see something through the binoculars and you need more information, just give me a call. I'll tell you anything I can about it.
Я вообще-то нажал.
That's Violo village, the Violo Calais. The villagers fled the war and evacuated a while back. Since then, it's become a base for the Soviets' 40th Army. A few days ago, Miller was taken through there, en route towards Dewandeha. You may be able to pick up the trail there. It's worth a shot. Take a look through your binoculars. Put a marker on it so you don't lose track of where it is.
Не могу, да?
Good. Now you won't have to worry about getting lost along the way. You can't have much left in him. I give him 3 days, tops. If we fail, and he dies, we lose our chance of revenge. But we need more intel. If you just go charging into Doandehar, you'll be putting both your lives at risk. See what you can find out first. The Soviets have other outposts, not
Это
just
не
the one
врага,
you
что ли,
saw.
или что? Что у него на лице?
Afghanistan is a big place. I expect you'll become quite familiar with those binoculars as you plan your next move. How and where you make it, well, that's up to you. From here on out, you're on your own. You're a legend in the eyes of those who live on the battlefield. That's why you have to handle this mission yourself. Put those 9 years behind you, and return as Big Boss. That's how Koss would want it. I'll be sending additional intel by radio. Stay sharp. Not one of Miller's bodyguards survived. They were all we found on the scene were their corpses and knees. You'll be missing them. And you're his only hope of getting them back.
Что у него в башке? Это у меня баг такой или...
Now go! Let the legend come back to life.
Не, алло, серьезно так должно быть? Они там сейчас... Да? Ну ладно. А, прикольно.
You're almost at the enemy outpost, Violo Village. The village is crawling with enemy soldiers. Don't just go waltzing in. Start with some recon. Is there anywhere that overlooks the village?
Он привык к управлению. Ничего нету. Сверкает.
That's a rough diamond. Those materials are already processed. They should come in handy sooner or later. Why not start gathering them?
Дерзко. Тоже что-то есть.
There's a Soviet guard post. They're bound to be guards. Take a look with your binoculars. Put the enemy in the center of your field of view. It's up to you whether to slip by enemies or take them down. Just remember that any situation can change fast. Familiarize yourself with your weapons and items while you can. You need to be able to switch between them quickly to meet any threat.
Как я это пробежал-то, блин?
Sight, sound, keep all your enemy senses in mind. When you're near an enemy, stay low and move slowly.
Так, в смысле?
Don't leave bodies out in the open. Find some place to drop them out of sight.
О, господи, чем ты так делаешь? Надо было метки тут расставить, наверное.
Boss, you don't understand what he said? I guess that makes sense. It looks like that horn stuck in your head has impacted the language center of your brain. If only we had a recruit with the Russian interpreter skill, we could get by with simultaneous interpretation.
Where are your friends? Speak.
Не стреляй, пожалуйста, не стреляй!
Understanding a language and being able to interpret from that language for somebody else are two different things. Juggling languages at a rapid-fire pace is more difficult than you might think. So, in other words, while I do speak Russian, don't expect me to do your interpreting.
Where are your friends?
I'll let you know if we locate a soldier with the interpreter skill. Extracting him will enable you to understand what the Soviets are saying. Otherwise, your interrogations are going to be a waste of time.
О, пока не очень удобно управлять, видите. Как же он шумит. Камера трясется как-то странно. Мне пока не очень нравится. Он берется-то.
Hiding on horseback allows you to stay out of sight even while on the move. It's effective for avoiding enemy guard posts and long-range reconnaissance patrols.
К черту лошадь так добегу.
How about it? Can you see the village from there? Use the binoculars to recon the place. Look at where the enemies are stationed. Look at their gear. Take it all in. There should be a command post somewhere. See any buildings with tighter security? If there are clues to Miller's whereabouts, I'll bet you can find them in there.
А вот так они помечаются, так просто навести надо.
A dumpster. Looks big enough to hide somebody. You could stash a downed enemy in there, or hide in it yourself. Just don't stand too close to me afterward.
Ну я не думаю, что там трое всего. Я там кого-то видел. Да. А там что-то сверкает.
Parabolic antenna. There could be intel files of some kind in there.
Мне интересно, у меня вот снайперка... Ого. У меня не снайперка. О, у нас ночь наступает.
Sun's down already. It goes without saying that darkness is good for infiltration. But your vision will be affected just the same. Keep your guard up, or who knows when you'll bump into an enemy.
Как он шумит. Что это такое?
Either destroy that, or turn it off to shut off all the lights and surveillance cameras in the outpost. But of course, the enemy will realize something's up. If you're gonna do it, be quick.
Кто? Не-не-не, чё. Ага, понятно, круто.
Всем боевым группам это КП. Вышел из строя целый ряд ламп. Похоже на проблемы с электроэнергией. Ближайший патруль. Проверить сеть питания. КП, это Дмитрий 9. Немедленно проверю. Конец связи.
Нет связи. Почему один говорит нормально, ну как, блин, без акцента, я бы сказал. Такой конец связи.
Перегруппироваться!
Не, ты что-то. Ну его, конечно, кипиш.
КП, это СВ-6. Незаконченные поиски. Никто не обнаружен. Прием. Это КП. Понял. Будьте наготове. Конец связи.
Алмазы,
The
наверное.
enemy's given up their search for you, but they're not giving the all clear just yet.
Враг! Будем подавляющий огонь!
Да, чё?
Всем боевым группам, это КП. Боевые посты. Все подразделения по боевым постам.
Так неинтересно.
We don't know Miller's exact location,
Да
so you'll
ладно.
need to do a little intel gathering first. Take a look around Vialo Village. Sun's down already. It goes without saying that darkness is good for infiltration, but your vision will be affected just the same. Keep your guard up, or who knows when you'll bump into an enemy.
Надо больше людей посканировать. Да.
Hey, that's...
Охренеть, он просто ворвался.
So you picked up an intel file. Now we know where Miller is. I'm marking it on your iDroid.
Как четко получилось.
Прошу поддержку!
Всем боевым группам! Это кафе! На нас напали! Все подразделения занять боевые позиции!
Подержись огнем! Где ты прячешься?
Ладно, пускай там бегают. Где мое задание теперь? Как? Где задание вообще?
Прекратить огонь! Прекратить огонь!
КП-23! Потерял противника! Ищу последние точки соприкосновения! Прием! Это КП, понял. Будьте очень внимательны. Реагируйте на каждое движение. Конец связи.
Так, стопы. Я вообще не понял.
We know where the target is. Head for one day.
Что это? Советский солдат? Это их оглушил, значит. Помеченные солдаты.
hospitalized in Dekelia, a British sovereign base area on Cyprus. It's part of British overseas territory that falls outside of Cypriot jurisdiction. You got moved from Cuba's Little America right into Cyprus's Little Britain. Why Dekelia? The UK and the US remain close allies. The last place Cypher would think to look for you is inside their own system. That's what kept you safe in British military hospital for 9 years. The safest place from a whale is inside its own belly. You were a regular Geppetto.
Well, it wasn't Pinocchio who led me out to safety. So who was that guy?
Cypher went so far as to attack British territory, burning their own ally. That's how badly they wanted you dead.
He said I was in a British military hospital. But the doctor had a Greek accent.
They hire locally. Easier to trust them. Dekelia is also home to Greek Cypriots, after all.
What about the Turks? They haven't returned to the south.
Not yet. The Cyprus dispute is still a long way from resolved. The country is just as split as it was in '74. Turkish Cypriots in the north, Greek Cypriots in the south. Between them, the Green Line, the UN established.
And Dekelia sits right on top of it.
It does. Part of the buffer zone between the two groups. Another reason it was the perfect place to hide you. Easy to spot any outsiders snooping around.
So how do things stand?
Now, last year, the Turks declared that the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus is an independent state, though it's only Turkey that recognizes it. In the past, the Greeks and Turks lived side by side in the same villages. There are reasons to fight. Those came from the outside. Greece, Turkey, Britain, America, they all had their own stake in pitting the two sides against each other. But once you spark something like this, it's impossible to control. Both sides build up grudges like debt, without the foresight to see that each act of revenge just fans the flames. And then it's too late for other nations to rush in with peace talks. The embers keep on smoldering. Each nation's arrogance only breeds anarchy. The world is paralyzed by this hunger for revenge. Cyprus is no different. You're up.
We're changing ships?
We can't go sailing the Suez in a whaler.
The Suez Canal. When did they reopen it?
Not long after you were attacked. Once they finished sweeping it for mines after the Arab-Israeli conflict. Can you stand? We're going to transfer to a container ship for passage through the Suez. Our destination is Pakistan, Afghanistan's neighbor to the south. There we disembark and head via Peshawar to the Zero Line, the border. We'll travel to the Khyber Pass by road.
And then?
We continue on horseback. Afghanistan's main roads are under Soviet control. We'll need to go around them. It'll be all narrow, winding paths through the mountains. We'll do better on horseback. It's a local guerrilla tactic. They use the higher ridges to avoid air recons. Then they charge down the mountains for ambushes. The Soviets still haven't devised a counter-strategy. Our time frame is only half as much as we really need. It'll be a tough march.
Better horses than boats.
Well, it'll make for good physiotherapy. Take the time to get used to that new arm.
While the Soviets have indicated they are not participating in the Los Angeles Olympics, primarily because the United States has made no attempt to guarantee the safety of the Soviet Union's athletes, the United States is increasingly demonstrating the belief that the issue has nothing to do with its preparations, and in fact this is retaliation for the Western nations' boycott of the previous Moscow Olympics. That concludes today's news.
That's quite some news.
The Soviet Union not attending the LA Olympics? Yeah. Andropov's death has changed some things. They're calling it revenge for the Western boycott of the Moscow Olympics.
Countries boycotted the Moscow Olympics?
Yes. In protest of the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan. Over 50 countries were absent. It's too bad I didn't get to see Yamashita's judo. When the 40th Army crossed the Amu River 4 years ago, détente went right out the window. The U.S. Congress chose not to ratify SALT II, and Reagan's hardline politics won him the presidency in a landslide. According to him, the Soviet Union's an evil empire.
The Second Cold War.
And there's been no end to regional conflicts and civil wars. Lebanon, the Falklands, Grenada, Iran, Iraq. The story never changes. Egypt and Israel did sign a peace treaty. But then the driving force on the Egyptian side, President Sadat, was assassinated afterward. Apparently, his actions were considered a betrayal of his fellow Arabs.
Islamic extremists?
Yes, fundamentalist extremists have been responsible for some bold acts of terrorism in recent years. We've had extremist students in Iran take U.S. embassy workers.
Anytime you need advice, just give me a call.
In Lebanon. Over 300 foreign soldiers stationed there have been killed. The countries have yet to develop an effective means of dealing with terrorism. Afraid of losing their own men, they've pulled their forces out, handing private...
It's an enemy guard post. Watch yourself.
Small armies with no national affiliation, working for the highest bidder. That's right, they got the idea from you. After Mother Base went down, they began spreading to meet the soaring demand. Miller's organization is just one of many PFs now.
Блин, не хочется
The
получать.
entire world is after you. But at the same time, it needs you too. Miller told me about what happened in the Caribbean 9 years ago. You do remember Miller. You'd formed a private army with him. An army with no allegiance to a nation.
I remember, but...
I see. You're not sure what's fact and what's a fantasy caused by the coma. It's still all a mess, huh? All I can do is tell you the facts as they were told to me. I've
Как
gone
их
easy on you
заткнуть?
up until
Серьезно.
now. But this is where the hard stuff begins. 1974, the year before you entered your coma. You were in Colombia, operating with a small unit of men, basically mercenaries. Miller was among them. Miller was trying to find a way to turn his and your talents into a line of work.
Чувак спит, у
He
него
was
шок.
looking to start a business where you would fight on behalf of others around the world, those who needed military force. But the reality was, at that time, you didn't have enough gear to equip your own men. Then Miller came across this client. It was a huge job he was offering, but you had a shot at pulling it off. You accepted it and headed into Costa Rica. The client even threw in an offshore facility in the Caribbean. The mother base, that would be your new base of operations. Miller sure did have a head for business. As your mission went on, your unit grew and grew. More weapons, more money. Before you knew it, you were commanding 300 men. As the organization got bigger, your military powers swelled to match. It got so the international community couldn't afford to ignore you. You were just too damn successful for your own good. You, your men, had worn out your welcome. Everyone was out for you. East, West, First World, Third. It was only a matter of time before someone took you down. And that was XOF. Officially, they're an anti-terror unit under the CIA. In reality, they're Cyprus force. They lured you to Cuba using Chico, the Nicaraguan revolutionary kid, and Paz, a mole who worked for Cypher as bait. While you were gone.
Что-то очень тупо получилось.
Sight, sound, keep all your enemy senses in mind. When you're near an enemy, stay low and move slowly. If you stand up and run around, you'll make it easier for them to spot you. It's an enemy guard post. Watch yourself.
Эй, ты слыхал? Убили крокодил, который летел из Баграм.
Шутишь? Партизанское ерундовое оружие пробило его броню.
Нет, говорят, у них откуда-то взялся переносной ракетный комплекс.
Ракетный комплекс. Душманов?
Да, и тепловые ловушки ему не помешали.
Откуда у них такая скорость?
Ну, мы пока что только слышали об этом комплексе. Кому из наших еще не довелось его пощупать?
Оружие призрака.
А ты попробуй взять в плен душмана с этой установкой. Тебе за это красное знамя.
Что? Хватит менять, парень.
Пока. Увидимся.
Трава какая-то.
That's a type of medicinal plant. Bring it back to base. It's sure to be useful sometime.
У нас есть база, что я не пойму. Это наша база или что? Нет у нас базы, нихуя. Вот так надо их захватывать, короче. Че тут возиться? Пулеметная вроде. Да куда ты? Ага. Куда? Наверх не залез, да? Блин, я как будто терминатор какой-то.
You've reached one day. You've got Miller locked up in that town. Check your iDroid for his location. I hope to hell he's all right. He's not your average client.
Может, спят все.
That's communications equipment used by the outpost CP. It must be how they keep in touch with headquarters. If you destroy it, you might be able to cut off the CP from their HQ. It's up to you whether to slip by enemies or take them down. Just remember that any situation can change fast. Familiarize yourself with your weapons and items while you can. You need to be able to switch between them quickly to meet any threat.
Еще двое.
Riding on horseback allows you to stay out of sight even while on the move. It's effective for avoiding enemy guard posts and long-range reconnaissance patrols.
Бля, мудак.
A dumpster. Looks big enough to hide somebody. You could stash a downed enemy in there, or hide in it yourself. Just don't stand too close to me afterward.
Всем боевым группам, это КП. Вышел из строя целый ряд ламп. Похоже на проблемы с электроэнергией. Ближайший патруль. Проверить сеть питания. КП, это Дмитрий 6. Наследую. Конец связи.
А где там этот был? Тарелка.
КП, это Дмитрий 6. Мы прибыли. Осматриваем территорию. Прием. КП, понял. Ищите подозрительные. Конец связи.
Вот связь, да?
Suppressor is no longer effective. Bear in mind, your weapon will be loud from now on.
Это КП, понял. Будьте начеку. Выкройте врага. Конец связи.
Sight, sound, keep all your enemy senses in mind. When you're near an enemy, stay low and move slowly. If you stand up and run around, you'll make it easier for them to spot you.
Всем боевым группам, это КП. Боевые посты. Всем подразделениям, по боевым постам.
И пофиг, перебью, короче.
КП, это Дмитрий 4. Потерял визуальника.
Поддержите огнем!
КП, это Дмитрий 9. Нас атакуют. Большие потери. Пошлите резервную группу. Прием.
That's the building, boss. That's where they're holding Miller.
Отправите резервы на подтверждение. Конец связи.
Сюда. Я понял. Что я сейчас вообще странно сделал? Пошел ты нахер. Нет никого. Что-то как-то не весело. Ты сейчас не... Ну, почему я не сломал ее? Я никак не мог эту херню привернуть. Так кто там еще-то есть? Опять он упал, да что ж мне. Бесполезно, походу, это.
Cuz, it's me. I'm here to get you out. Snake. They do something to your eyes? No, it's just bright as all.
Took you so long.
We'll talk, but not here.
You've secured the target. I'll send the chopper to get you out. Make your way to the RV. You can check the location on your iDroid.
You look well. Hasn't slowed you down one bit. Not so heavy anymore, right?
На лошадь можно? Да стой ты. Одну ногу отрезали, руку отрезали, нормально. А я пособираю травку, конечно. Чё ты несешь? Какой облако газа? Что за дичь опять началась? Что за херня вообще?
Boss, watch out. It's the skulls. Don't let them find us.
Boss, whatever that mist is, it's all around you. We can't see through it. I'm changing the RV so it's outside the mist. Get over there. The chopper will be waiting.
Куда мне надо? Плохая идея. Может, по Скайримовски пойти? Да окей. Может, прорвемся? Бля, надеюсь, сюда повернусь. Что это? Что вообще? В другую сторону. Господи. Это он просто захватывал, да?
Those things. That's the unit that attacked us before. They came at us real fast in the same kind of mist. Our men, survivors from 9 years ago, were wiped out in minutes.
All right.
I don't know what they want.
Miller in.
No mistake.
There's an obstruction at the LZ preventing me from landing. Request immediate removal.
Очень плохо, да? Вист, без рапида, без боевых тревог. Что за задание-то были? Первый блинковым, короче. Еще одна аудиокассета.
We're headed for the Seychelles. That's where our new home is now. Hey. That was some operation we had, huh? 9 years ago. Carving out our own world. Making our own future. And they took it away. I'm gonna rebuild it. Make a new place. Together. That we can call home. Yeah, we were dogs, all right. Slinking around out of Cypher's sight. Digging up whatever kind of dirty money we could find. You name it. We did it. You see this? Diamond Dogs. Our new home. The phantom of our former selves. Triumph. Death. We weren't allowed either. Yeah. I remember it all.
Это их прошлая база так разлетелась. На это Гранд Зиро был.
Snake. Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg, and my arm, even my fingers. The body I've lost, the comrades I've lost, won't stop hurting. It's like they're all still there. You feel it too, don't you? I'm the one who got caught up with Cypher, a group above nations. Even the US. And I was the parasite below, feeding off Zero's power. They came after you in Cyprus. In Afghanistan. Cypher just keeps growing. Swallowing everything in its path. Getting bigger and bigger. Who knows how big now? Boss. I'm gonna make them give back our past. Take back everything that we've lost. And I won't rest until we do.
Approaching Mother Base.
Our new Mother Base. I don't know how long it'll take, but I'll make it bigger. Better than before.
What should I do?
Boss?
Tell me. Tell me like you used to.
Улучшение будет.
Things have changed, boss. We pull in money, recruits, just to combat Cypher. Rubbing our noses in bloody battlefield dirt. All for revenge. The world calls for wet work, and we answer. No greater good. No just cause.
Cause?
Cypher sent us to hell. But we're going even deeper.
I know. I'm already a demon. Heaven's not my kind of place anyway.
Dogs of war for 9 whole years. That ends today. Now you're not sleeping, and we're not junkyard hounds. We're diamond dogs.
Да, он задолбал болтать, уже заткнуть его.
Let them talk.
We can crush Cypher, boss. And you can build the army that can do it.
Just one thing, Kaz. This isn't about the past. We're fighting for the future.
Ладно, мы узнаем про этой базой в следующий раз. Тут мне не нравится. Поменяем.